Checking, checking. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's check the webs and make sure everything's streaming good. Checking, checking. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Ephemeral One, and welcome to me deciding to rank all the Webtoons I'm familiar with. And for those curious, we will be, luckily, unlike my ranking video for anime on Crunchyroll, this one shouldn't be as toxic. By that I mean, I should be able to look at Webtoons and not have to worry about causing a copyright issue. So, these all come from all ones not every single one I'm subscribed to, but generally I can at least pull them up and justify my answers. These were put up in alphabetical order, or at least close enough, at least when I uploaded them. So, I suppose, without further ado, let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. Just making sure everything looks good. Alright. I don't think there are as many as I did animes, but that's fine. So, starting at the top, 1 HP Club. For those, I'll just look it up. By Elf Boy. A cutesy anime, cutesy style art as far as the art goes. It's about a group of friends playing D&D together, where everyone, where the characters who are actually dating flirt in the actual game. It has a meta dynamic to it that I appreciate. So, I'm gonna personally say it's worth it. Stands as a good, fun time, and the only downside is, the only holdback for me would be that it hasn't updated since January 30th of 2023, so over a year. Whether it ever continues or not, it's still a fun ride and one I absolutely adore, where you can see the frustration of a DM and the fun of messing with his players, as well as the players just making their own fun as much as they're playing in the main story. So, overall, a fantastic work. It's worth it. From there, then we have 21st Century Knights by Postic Botoru. I'm not even making it up. 21st Century Plastic Botoru. A interesting and unique original series where knights are people imbued with special powers, and our main character is an oddball kind of trying to make her way through. If you're a fan of Crocs, you'll be a fan of this main character. I'll put it that way. Aside from that, it's a very meta, very interesting world. It's a solid read, but it is a very fight-heavy, the fights are what carry it, so it's a decent read. It's not for everybody, but it is a decent read overall. The characters are very fun. Now, so that's where I'll put it as a decent read. It's definitely worth it in my opinion. Like, all of these are worth it, but I'll put higher or lower based on just my overall feelings on it. Okay, next up is 23-4. This one is about angels in heaven and what their respective roles are. Effectively, this is a relatively short. It's currently short just because there was an original version. Oh, I should get into this. With Webtoon, there is Canvas, where you are basically anyone can upload a comic, and if you get a lot of fandom and you get a lot of support, you can become what they call an original, where you make more money, you have more support, that kind of thing. Otherwise, it's purely on you to update as you like, when you like. You can also set up Patreons to help you support yourself out. Anyway, this right now only has a few episodes, specifically because this 23-4 was originally a Canvas that eventually got moved up to being. So they're still in the process of catching up to where they were originally, with refining the art. Now, that being said, look at this goddamn art. This art is goddamn gorgeous. The detail on it is ridiculous. I marvel at some of the art. Just the detail on there. And then the detail on the characters. Their death masks, their weapons, their outfits. Just overall. This is a must-read to me. Because the characters, the art, the visual aspect to it alone makes it a fantastic read. It's a brief one, too, so it's not... When we get back to the deeper parts of the story, it's also... Yeah. Alright. So next up... So our next comic will be 6,666 Years. Advent of the Dark Mage. Follows the story of not an evil mage, but a dark mage who opposed the gods, reincarnated 66,666 years after his death, and the world he finds beyond. It is charming, it is awesome, and the characters are a lot of fun and ones you start to come to love. And a lot of your journey is reflected in the main character. I'm personally going to give it... There's more there, so there's a lot more development. So I'm personally going to put it on the top of must-read so far. But it is a close contender with 23-4. Once 23-4 gets some more... And for those curious, it's in reference to a famous Bible passage. I'll let you try and figure out which one. Next up. 6th Degree. Okay. Yeah, 6th Degree. Very wonderful art. Very... Okay, point blank, it's a lot of lesbian bait and a lot of Yuri baiting. But if I had to say anything about it, they do a lot of good work. Like on the characters' design, the stances, the poses, the motion of the characters. If I had to give any criticism, the story overall is a bit convenient. And just overall, it's pretty good. It's good, but when I compare it to some of my favorites, it's only decent at best. Alright, next up on Webtoons. Okay. Oh, 180 Degree Angel. An interesting, unique story. I have to catch up. I didn't realize I missed some episodes, so I'm going to have to catch up myself. But I'll read the description because it stands as an interesting one. Chloe Heavenwood wants nothing more than to become a delivery angel like her mother, but her world turns upside down when she asks a disagreeable Reaper for help. She is thrown into the affairs of hell, where she makes an unlikely group of friends and begins to question everything she has learned about heaven. To make matters worse, it seems she has won the attention of hell's fiery princess. Updated every other Friday night. Yep. King Catbird. It's pretty good, honestly. I think it's worth it for a read. It's a unique take on the heaven-hell dynamic. And it's a lot of fun. And it's a comfy read about interpersonal drama and what people build. And what you define you desire versus what society demands of you. All right. That's Nowhere. What's it called? Yeah, A City Called Nowhere. The first of the Merryweather comics we're going to be coming across. Sort of a horror short story collection. And it shows the anxieties. If anything else, this story works for the anxieties that prey on somebody who has massive social anxiety. That they could see monsters where there may not be any. So, it's not for everyone, as it's a horror one, but it's a lot of fun. Next up. Yep, About Us. This is one I absolutely adore. By Jellybay, who has their own comic about their daily lives, but this is sort of a cast of characters identified by their color and the relationships about them. So, just to give an example here, like Summer Vacation. Pink and Blue, who are dating. Black and White, how they handle their summer vacation. Green and Orange. Again, just little things like that make it a lot of fun to just see. It's a very standard, but a lot of energy and fun. So, personally, I'm going to stick it in Worth It. A low Worth It, but it is still worth it. It's a comfy series. Alright. Ooh, and now we're getting into some of the saucier stuff. Abyssal Reflections. Or how did it? Yeah, Abyssal Reflections. Or how about just Abyssal? Alright. This is where I find out it got pulled for some reason. I doubt it. And no, not every comic that I've subscribed to is on here, because some of them are stuff I have to catch up on. There it is. Oh, Abyss Reflections. Boys love dark fantasy, a story about a prince and his knight. Mix of dark fantasy and coffee shop settings. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but we have a lot of fun with it. And that's exactly it. That and very, very pretty men. Which I'll always have a weakness for, so... Yeah. Can you tell I'm bisexual? Personally, it's an up there and worth it. I'll put it right next to the gay couple of the princess and the angel. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, next up, the official. It's not Abyssal, it's Abyss Reflections. Academy Uncanny. Okay, this is one I truly enjoy. And the art style just sticks out to me. The art style is very striking, very sharp, but still leaves plenty of motion for various emotions and flexibility for between scenes. But the description, Oya Boris, by the way, the author here, actually has 2 entries on my list, but we'll get to the other one later. Lai is a loser with no money and no future until she discovers the eerie truth. Ghosts are real, and you can study them in ghost school. Now enrolled in the mysterious and ancient Academy Uncanny, she'll have to uncover the secrets of the supernatural and of a certain icy white-haired boy. Tries to update at least once a month. They've been holding pretty strong. Unfortunately, October was the last one, but it's obviously it's a passion project, and the art style is not to everyone's taste, but it's still a lot of fun. And the way they run the plots, it's a little basic, but overall an enjoyable read. So I'm going to leave it towards the top of decent. Adjust. And my bisexual is showing again. Boys love slow burn fantasy. A merry bunch of strange men trying to adjust working with each other to solve supernatural cases, chasing ghosts and being mysteriously stupid. A multi-part story featuring a mute exorcist who wants everything, a demon that won't deal with ghosts, a magpie on the run, and an ex-cop who refuses to fall in love. Oh, this is so much. This one is one of those, love the art, love the implications. This is queer as fuck, just to be point blank. So we'll stick it under next to Abyss Reflections. And we'll go from there. Next up. Yeah, Ad Lucem. By, I believe it's Demonade. Oh, Make Demonade. And it's a fun isekai. She wasn't killed, she just got pulled to another fantasy world and kind of trying to learn to live there. It's a very high, decent comic. It's not fantastic and, doesn't do anything revolutionary, but it shows a good comfort, and the art style can become very vivid when they want to be for higher action sequences or emotional scenes. The coloration is actually one of their stronger points. However, you kind of lose some of the... At times, the backgrounds can be kind of a weakness, where it doesn't come off as... It isn't as easy to tell where someone is sometimes. Like, they're not a stranger to having just a blank background. So, it can mean well. And of course, there's plenty of cheesecake around. But it's not the worst thing in the world, and it is a lot of... They have fun with the characters, so... It's definitely a decent read. It's nothing amazing, but it definitely holds its own. Next up. Aerial Magic. Okay. I gotta stop closing out Webtoons. Aerial Magic. This is one is it's not a guilty pleasure. Walking North is an amazing artist who has these pastel, watercolor painting art style. I've always been a sucker for. It was almost like I was playing Vanillaware earlier today. But yeah. Our Aerie, she, her, by. Currently working on 7 Days in Silverglen. We'll get to there when we get there. They have several very well done comics. And I should note that this one is actually complete. It's only 50, 56 parts, but those 56 parts can be a wonderful ride. It's a comfy little story. It's decent. I'm going to put it on the bottom of worth it, but still really good. Make no mistake. Worth it and decent might seem kind of cruel to say, but it's one of those things of, if something's a decent read, at the very least you feel good at the end of it. Or you feel good or you want to know more. It's not for everyone is where you may not care what happens to the characters or something there might be a disconnect. Alright, an adverse adventure. The art style alone tends to carry this. I will always be a proponent of giving someone of giving people note there are mature themes and plenty of cheesecake for those of us who are into pretty men. Though that being said, it can also, again, the weakness being that sometimes the backgrounds can be a little weak, and the art style's not for everybody, but honestly, I will always support them, so they're a decent ride. And there are plenty of pretty characters. I follow them on Twitter, and they upload. The artist does a lot. Dammy does amazing work with various characters and very expressive art. And when they want to do their focus on a single piece, they can do amazing work. But yeah, and if you're curious, Dammy Draws. Can follow them. Oh, I thought they had their Twitter up. But yeah, this is one of their comics. This is their comic and their love child and what they love to do. So next up, oh boy, what's it called? Yeah, Angelique in the Dark. This isn't a little angel named Angelique, on her way to hand over some duties, accidentally fell into the Dark World. Later, she was found by the Dark Lord, and it's a slow burn romance between the two. It's how she adjusts to living in a world of demons, and how he adjusts to having someone he can trust watching his back. Artie No does a fantastic job, and a lot of the characters, the expressions, and the designs kind of stick out a lot. And there's the usual romantic dynamic of there's feelings there, but they're, awkward with them because of, their positions and how they're interpreted. It's a lot of fun, though. I will very much vouch for it, so I definitely think it's worth it. Yeah, I'm going to say top of worth it. Oh, boy. Okay, now we get to address the fact that I'm also gender fluid, because one of my favorite comics that I'm about to throw up here has that big girls love tag, and oh gods, do I love it. Apollonia. Alright. War Bunny by War Bunny. Molly Holiday is the new blood on the perilous prison planet Purgatoire. While wet behind the ears, her quick draw skills catch the eye of Steel Edge bounty hunter Tess Seguin and her devilish crew of Hard Knocks, the Redhorns. Together, they'll collect bounties, put scum 6 feet under, and find a way to escape the planet in their trusty space train, the Apollonia. This is a sci-fi western that updates bi-weekly on Saturdays. Yeah. This is a fun, awesome action comic. This is amazing. I'll put it this way. Trying to see if I can find it. Because to put it in retrospect, I don't know if I can find it now. Don't remember what. They did an entire episode set to the lyrics of a song from Ruby. I can't put words to how much that made me smile. So, simply put, this is a lot of fun. This is awesome. And this will sit up on one of the tops of must-read for me. This was something I am so happy I came across, and I look forward to seeing more from our girls. Alright. And then next up, As the Crow Flies. More lesbians. Oh. Flies. There it is. Being student council president is tough work at a reform school for supernatural beings. Neve is determined to work hard and graduate as soon as possible to return to her demonly duties. But things change when she meets a troublesome angel who refuses to follow the rules. So, it's the play on the student council being and the bad girl from school, and only the bad girl is the angel and the demon is the student president council. The art is gorgeous. The characters are fun and bouncy, bounce off each other pretty well. And the expressions are a lot of fun. So, overall, yeah, absolutely say it's worth it. But I have to at least, but of course, again, I gotta justify heavy lesbian stuff, so if you're not into girl love, unfortunately, it's not gonna be for you. Alright, now here's one. Ava's Demon. This is a sci-fi comic, actually. Ava's Demon is about a girl named Ava and the demon haunting her. The demon, however, might just be the ghost of an alien queen, Rathia, seeking revenge on the one that destroyed her empire, a godlike figure named Titan. The story follows Ava as she makes her way across the universe, teaming up with Rathia on a quest for revenge while fighting her inner demons along the way. This is more focused on self-development and understanding oneself and their place in the world. There's a lot of very interesting character dynamics, and again, it is a very open universe sci-fi. And as you might tell from the thumbnails, where the character expressions get amazingly sharp and strike very hard. I cannot recommend this one enough. This is one of those up there I absolutely adore. Oh god, and right into another one. Asa, right? Asa, yep. This is a unique universe, one that I absolutely adored. And I just want to say, I look forward to if we ever get more. Because unfortunately, it's one of those, again, hasn't updated since January 29th of 2023. We are currently on January 26th of 2024. We may never get any more, and I have to live with that fact. That being said, it's just one of those things of... Oh, didn't mean to click that. It's just one of those things of, I have to understand that, but the world and universe they came up with was extraordinarily fun. This is a heavily, I want to say Chinese-inspired sort of story where the Demon King, basically, is captured by the Emperor, and how he manipulates and works, even as a prisoner, and being seemingly helpless, he is still manipulative and plotting behind the scenes. I love this so much. This was an excellent webtoon. The fact it hasn't updated in over a year, though, I'm going to leave it, unfortunately, towards the bottom of worth it, only because we may never see the ending. And that will always... No, we'll stick it on the top of decent, because if we never see the ending, it's still decent. But it'll leave you with a heart-rending pang of pain when you realize, I'll never know how it ends. The same way Berserk it feels like to think about Berserk now, where it's like, I'll never know how this will truly end, or how this was supposed to end. But that's the way things go. So, I was saying girl, because the next up is Girl Love. This is Babe. From super serious to, that's political drama, to Babe. More lesbian girl love. Updates. The series complete and will no longer be updated. Thank you for your support by Daruni. They have several comics, so have fun. There's their information if you want to try and find them. But effectively, Babe was just a lighthearted, silly series of just one-offs with two girls, just how their relationship is. Not for everyone. Something silly, lighthearted, but a lot of fun. Oh boy. Whew. Here we go. Alright, so this is where we hit the first of these. Bastard. Okay. Karnbi Kim and Yongchan Huang. Bastard. There's a serial killer in my house. This is one of the greatest pieces of drama that left me aching to know more as this comic released. This is how you do good drama. You would think the muted colors would hinder it, but if anything, it highlights the value on how the character sees the world. It really is a lot of fun and really good. The overall plot is this kid is living with a serial killer. The serial killer is his father. And how this comes down, how things happen, I absolutely adore every minute of this. I won't spoil anything more than that. This is a fantastic thrill. This is a great dramatic watch. I cannot suggest it highly enough. I'm unfortunately going to put Apollina at the highest so far, but that is definitely Bastard sits at the precipice for me. Alright. Next up is Becoming the Monarch. When Chris, a one-armed mercenary with considerable experience and skills, swallows an artifact after an unlikely encounter with a savage looter, he finds himself back in the past as a 15-year-old lowly foot soldier with both his arms. This time, he will not let life take an unfortunate turn. This time, he will not let his friends die in vain. This time, he will use his knowledge to reach the sky. It's a... Okay. I'm going to come off as extremely jaded regarding this. But the plot point you're going to come across a lot in a lot of webtoons is someone gets thrown back to the past to undo their past mistakes. Unfortunately, because of that, and because it's become such of a common trope, I'm going to leave this indecent. It's not that it's bad, but it is a reused thing, and the art itself is good, the fight scenes are fun, the energy behind the story is good, but it very much comes off as a power fantasy about, okay, I can fix my mistakes this time and make everything go right. And I don't know, it just comes kind of flat at times. Still, I absolutely encourage it. It is a decent read, and it is, if you're into the more action-oriented, this is definitely something that can be a lot of fun. Next up, Beeb the Weird. Beeb the Weird is a comic that singles out weird, funny moments and scenarios in Beeb's life through sarcastic skits that all add up to make a whole series. In other words, it's a one-off comic about doing a lot of jokes that they thought of were kind of funny while they were walking around. So, not for everyone, but still fun. Yeah, I'll give it above Babe. Just that feeling of, it's that harmless feeling of, that was a pretty good joke. And you kind of move on with your day. Nothing especially noteworthy there. Oh boy. Berserk here. This is an interesting one. After losing her husband to the war, the young paintress Ava moves into the mountains. She meets the god Berserkir, who is bound to these lands by a dark secret. Now it's up to her to break the curse of the icy mountains. Will she be able to find out the truth about the mysterious forest god? An interesting, unique concept for a romance of woman moves out to get away from everything, to meet a god, and try to figure out more about him, and as well as herself. The art is fantastic overall. The characters have an incredible chemistry. I will say this is very much, and this is currently still updating, like last time was January 25th, so yesterday. So, absolutely worth it. So I can say that with full certainty. It's an interesting concept and a lot of fun, and they do a lot with it. Alright, next up is Blades of Furry. Yep. Emil is an up-and-coming skater in the beloved sport of skate battles, a high-stakes combo of figure skating and martial arts. Radu is a well-known senior skater and several-time champ with the world at his feet. However, during an ill-fated match between the two, Emil discovers Radu's secret, which could threaten to destroy him. Will Emil keep his secret, or could this rivalry turn into something more? Okay, this one is just one of those, this is a furry comic and it is gay as fuck, okay? It wears everything it wants to do on its sleeve. That being said, it is a riot and a must-read for me anyway. It is hilarious with the way the characters are done. And there is so much meme potential with so many of the great expressions on it. Yes, it's a furry comic. I'm not really much of a furry. I will appreciate good art in the furry style, but I don't specifically need it any one way or the other. Ah. Now, this would have gotten knocked down if I'd done this list a while back, but Blood Inc. A great action slash thriller. I gotta read the story because I love the idea of this story. In the Republic of Terragua, being an assassin is not only legal, but quite profitable if you play your cards right. It's as simple as accepting a blood ink, taking out the target, and getting paid. As long as you follow the rules and pay your taxes on time, there shouldn't be any problem at all. And at least that's what Maya thought until she met Rama, an unlicensed assassin with a thirst for revenge. Yeah. There was a good gap about, December of 2023. Yeah. Before the, January 28th, 2023 to December 16th, 2023. So most of last year we didn't get updated. So this would have gone lower, but this is one of those amazing stories that just explodes for me. There's a lot of good energy, there's a lot of tension. It's a good thriller as much as an action it's not comedy. It is a pure action slash thriller. It's all about this political intrigue in a world where killing is perfectly legal if you're taking the contract. But then there's people with reasons to kill outside of the legal purposes. So definitely worth it. Yeah, I'm going to put it at the top of worth it. I don't think it's a must-read for everyone, but it is definitely worth it for those of us who want something like that. There is romance, there is action, just everything is a lot of fun. All right. And then we go from Blood Inc. to Blood Stain. Oh, did they do it as two separate words? Yep. Linda Sejic has an amazing art style that just pops visually. Her husband is just as much, does as well, but they're not on the Webtoons, so I'll save that for another day and another list. For now, Linda Sejic. Bloodstain is the story of a workplace comedy about two barely functioning adults. It's a story about courage, growing up, and finding friendships in the most unlikely places. She has a second comic by the name of Punderworld. We'll come back to that when we get to it. But both the comics are absolutely riotous fun. Stories of people being awkward nerds. And it's a lot of fun. There's also, another comic I won't get into here because it can't be on Webtoons. But if you look up and you have a taste for adult comics, Sunstone. Good kink comic, I'll say it that way. But yeah, Bloodstain, a lot of fun. Really awesome. Oop, wrong. So, I'm definitely going to put it on the bottom of must read, but still but it is a must read to me. Oh boy, okay. Boy Girlfriend. This is an interesting. An idiot convinces his male childhood friend to dress up and act like his girlfriend so he'll show up his crush that he's mature and cool. And this works out. Until he happens to catch feelings for the friend he had dress up. Oh, and all the drama that comes with teenage angst. This is a lot of fun, and there's a lot to enjoy. So, definitely up there. Again, the queer block in Worth It. So long as you are fine with gay romance, this is some of the best stuff out there. Oh boy, Boyfriend of the Dead. She's a smart, independent young woman who's kicking ass and struggling to make her way through the middle of the zombie apocalypse. Just her luck, one day she goes out searching for food and shelter and ends up finding a boyfriend instead. And oh yeah, because modern love isn't hard enough, he's done dead. Yeah, he's dead, and he was originally trying to keep her around for just the idea of eating her, but she's proven, let's be point blank, the girlfriend in this has proven herself to be a goddamn blender on two legs. It's a lot of fun. It's a riot. The only downside, last updated June 19th, 2023. And you see how these special episodes are? And the problem is, those special episodes have been coming in since 2021. 2022. So yeah. May of 2021 was the last major update episode, and then 2022 we saw the beginning of these special episodes. So, honestly, it hasn't been official story updated since. So, overall, I'm going to have to knock it down to peg just because of that. So, unfortunately, you end up towards the top of... You end up in the middle of decent, but... Still, it's still a good comic. Oh no, I have to talk about this now. Going from Boyfriend of the Dead, we now go to Boyfriends. Reframebo. A comic about getting yourself a boyfriend. Or multiple boyfriends. 4 college students begin a polyamorous relationship and navigate the adventures that is dating life. Whew. So yeah, it's about 4 guys who start a relationship together. They tend to know each other, and as starting from left to right, goth, nerd, prep, and jock. These 4, now, the way it kind of goes is goth and prep were kind of in an on-again, off-again thing before nerd kind of hit on jock, and then together they all 4 kind of felt a mutual attraction to try and make it work between all 4 of them. How to put it? My God, I feel jealous about this entire thing. The idea of having 3 other people who legitimately care about your feelings and well-being sounds like a goddamn dream. So, sorry, but this is going in must-read for me purely for self-wish fulfillment. It is purely that and nothing else. I will not even deny it. The idea of having 3 boyfriends who care about me and want to take care of me, fuck, that sounds amazing. Okay. Admitting that, we move on to, something adorable. Something painfully wholesome. Bugtopia. Now, unfortunately, the original Bugtopia canvas has now fallen to being, as again, there's now a new series, and they've touched up some of the art, and they're overall being kinder, and not kinder, but they're mixing things up and altering the story from the original, so we look forward to seeing more of it. But a spider mom and her ladybug son, a battle, a beetle power couple, a butterfly pop star, a wasp knight, and a bee princess. In a world so large for these tiny bugs, anything is possible. Find out who you'll meet, learn what secrets they all hold, and enjoy your stay in this little kingdom called Bugtopia. Yeah, it's character focused, it's a lot of fun. There are some horrible puns, and it is queer as hell the entire ride. And you know what? I love it for it. So personally, I'm sticking Bugtopia up top towards the top of worth it. I will understand if it's not someone's taste, but personally, yeah. Okay. What's the official called on this one? Bunny Girl and the Cult, another of Merryweather. For those unfamiliar, Merryweather is someone who wrote a lot of stories and then hired various artists to draw them out. Another horror. A lot of Merryweather stuff can be classified as existential horror. They have a real, I want to say, affinity for otherworldly horror and things that kind of off-put you. So, overall, yeah, strange bunny girls have been appearing all over the city, attempting to recruit people into a mysterious cult known as the Warren Divine. And as you can see, we don't have too many episodes, so 13 total at this point in time, and even the canvas of it didn't get that far, so I can't really rate this too highly yet because the story hasn't really begun to unfold. That being said, it is at least worth reading, so, and I'll keep an eye on it. The art is pretty decent, and it'll be interesting to see where they go with the story. So, from there we go to Cat and Fishy. A fantasy. Once a very curious but stupid cat fell into the ocean. There he met strange food that emerged from the depths but lost. The food was not simple. He did not mind trying a piece of the cat. Basically, this is a long sort of romance built up between two predators and the awkwardness they go through in trying to find their way to each other. It's really interesting, a unique universe, and it's got some pretty fun characterizations and differences in a lot of the challenges they present. So, I mean, the first episode, I'm pretty sure almost has no dialogue whatsoever. Like, whoop. Trying to figure out and tries to eat him and boots him back into the water. Misses his chomp. Yeah. Aw. Yeah. It's just this adorable awkward romance of two idiots. It's two himbos of very different species falling in love. I think it's totally worth it, but to each their own. It's hilarious and adorable. Alright, on to the action bits. I forget what the title is exactly. Children of Mira. And I keep closing Webtoons. Children of Mira is a interesting action webtoon that is basically there's no isekai. This is just a fantasy world where Sign, a child of unknown origin, embarks on a lone journey throughout the mystical and dangerous world of Mira. Sign's master, the great sage, was forced to part ways with him in order to do battle with a fearsome foe. On his own, Sign slowly discovers his true self, meets friends along the way, and experiences things he couldn't while under the great sage's watchful protection. Upon discovering more about himself, he learns he harbors a power strong enough to become the world's greatest hero, or its greatest nightmare. But, as you can see, with those by his side, keeping an eye on him, for better or worse. It's a lot of fun. It's a very action, combat-focused adventure, but they do a lot of excellent work with it. I think it's definitely one of those very much worth it reads. Oh, and we're hit back with Merryweather yet again. Crawling Dreams. Nyarla and Gast are living in a trendy city by the sea that seems to be hiding some disturbing secrets. This is kind of where Merryweather's love of Lovecraftian storytelling kind of comes through, and having a seemingly oblivious main character and her pet cat. It follows their adventures in a city that's not quite what it seems to be. A lot of fun, and probably one of my favorites of what Merryweather has done so far. So I'm actually going to put that fairly high up, because I definitely approve of that. And it has its own tastes and takes on it. And having a character that seems oblivious but kind of is aware of what's going on, but doesn't care, is a very unique thing. From there, we move to, Cursed Princess Club. Meet Gwendolyn, living proof that princesses don't always have it all. See, although she lives in a castle and her father is the king, Gwendolyn isn't like a movie princess or even a fairy tale princess. She's got a big heart but isn't particularly attractive and doesn't have a Disney-quality singing voice. But one night, she accidentally stumbles upon the twisted world of the Cursed Princess Club, and her life will never be the same. Hexed and cast out, ladies of the club are just the people Gwendolyn needs to show her that just because she doesn't fit the mold does not mean she is any less of a princess. Because these are her two sisters here on the left, and that's Gwendolyn herself. So, as you can see, she doesn't resemble them, seemingly, but they are her sisters. And this whole story kind of unfolds from there about those who think she's cursed or maybe something's going on. There's a lot of interesting twists and things that are lighthearted jabs that are built out into something actually story relevant. And there's a lot of actually fairly interesting plot twists and character development. Overall, I can very much agree with this. This is very much a must-read, especially for a sense of self and development. And learning to look at yourself more honestly than you tend to. Next up is Darius and the Princess, I believe. Darisha? Yeah, the Princess's Secret Sweetheart. Yep. Romance, fantasy comedy. It's full of sweetness and love, happy ending. Aisha, the youngest princess is dating a commoner. He said he would go to the palace to meet her, but what the beep does he, why does he turn out to be a eunuch? Mysterious murders happen in the harem. What should Aisha do when she discovers that everything is related to her boyfriend? This is a lot of fun, and is a very... The main characters are interesting and dynamic, and yes, the commoner boyfriend that's supposed to watch over her has various secrets, and the way the story unfolds is a lot of fun. I'm trying to speak without actually ruining any of the plot twists, but the art style's nice, the romance is really good, and she's no princess. She's no frail princess, I'll put it that way, the main character, Aisha. And it's a lot of fun. So, I won't put it in must read, but it's definitely worth it. And yeah, I put it next to the gay ones because that's, for me, gay and straight romances, same difference. Alright, this is one that's not going to go very high, but I still wanted to put it on the list because, A, I want to remind Pastic Batoru that, hey, I've seen it, I know it exists. De Novo. Same one for 21st Century Knights, this is the same artist. This unique universe was one I really wish they would go back to, because it is a very unique and interesting character dynamic. Victoria lived a life so bland it could barely have been called a life at all. So when it came time for judgment after her sudden death, she refused to accept the end and found a way to do it all again, de novo. Now, Victoria is reborn into a fantasy world with dragons, fairies, and endless possibilities, but as a woman feared and hated by society, a witch. However, this won't shake her. This new world is full of opportunities, and nothing or no one can stop her from taking it all. This was a very unique take on the witch being a, proactive member of society and not just being an outcast because. So, it's going to go in not for everyone. But I will say this. I remember this. I wish it would update. But gods, I understand why when 21st Century Knights is doing better. But gods, I would love to see this come back. Pastic Batoru's art style, too, is fantastic. Just look at the character designs there. The military outfit on their main character, much less compared to the very dashing business suit. And the coat of arms, just overall, everything about this was well done. I just wanted to put it there. Alright. Next up, Death Becomes Her. I believe that was also an old movie. Oh, Death Becomes You. Yep, by Frankie MF. This is a horny series. Like, nothing for nothing. This is a romantically horny series about a himbo and a total babe trying to accomplish a fantasy quest. It is absolutely fantastic, And it is a case where you can tell the artist loves their characters because they will go out of their way to draw them extra and draw them in all sorts of alternate costumes and extras. It's a lot of fun, and you can really tell the energy they have behind it. This is worth it, and very much a worth it in my opinion. The art, just bear in mind, it is very horny art, so you've been warned. Okay. And Alright. Snail Lords, I want to say this. I love and hate you so goddamn much. This is one of the greatest criminals of all Webtoons. Snail Lords is one of the most cruel, abject, and just misery-inducing comics that you will ever read. And I wish them the absolute best, and I hope they never stop producing this shit, because God, it hurts in the best way possible. Ladies and gentlemen, Snail Lord's Death Rescheduled has some of the most criminal cliffhangers on an episode that just makes twist the knife in your side, and you're going, why would you stop there? What's no. There needs to be more. They are a master of the cliffhanger. I hate them for it, but I cannot help but respect their work. So, yeah. This won't be the last time we see this artist, but it will be one of those, I know you, I see you, and I can say fully and with complete honesty, holy fuck, I love and hate your comics. Which is about the highest praise I can possibly give. When you actively make me grit my teeth, you have done an amazing work. So, yeah. So from there, we go to Death Sitter. A very unique art style. A deadbeat drug addict with a seemingly supernatural luck gets a job babysitting the daughter of the city's local Grim Reaper. Yeah, there's between his acid trips and the horrible nightmarish things that go on around him, this is one of the most wild rides of a comic. This is worth it in all the best ways. But it is very much not everyone's cup of tea. But it is a wild goddamn ride. Because the main character is not the hero of this story. He's just here to make a quick buck and get on to his next high. And that is about as far as he wants to go. I think we're going to cut it here tonight. And I'll pick this up next time. So, I think this is a good way to start. Alright. Webtoons. Alright. Alright, so that's as far as we have. And next time we'll pick up and keep going. So, I want to thank you all for joining me. I have been the Ephemeral One, and this has been me ranking more of my favorite webtoons. Thank you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now, folks. Bye for now.